The first time I ever had sex with this guy is because I did not set boundaries for myself. Yes. Yeah. Hello guys, you are welcome to my channel. This is Bliss Bland. If this is your first time to drop by, thank you very much, and please do not forget to hit the notification bell so you get to be the first person to know each time I upload a new video. And please don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to comment, and don't forget to like. Okay, so guys, today we'll be talking about this very important topic which is so dear to my heart, and it's boundaries. Yeah, have you ever been in a place where you just find yourself in this place where you don't like to be there, but you just cannot say no? Someone asks you to do something, you don't want to do it, but you just cannot say no. Your friends come around and they want you guys to go somewhere, you don't want to go, but you just cannot say no. And you know what? You keep on doing this over and over and over, and each time you go back home or when you go back to your quiet place, you feel so frustrated, you feel so angry, you feel like I should have said no, but why is it so difficult for me to say no? You're so scared to say no to people, you're so scared to voice out your opinion, to say what you stand for and what you cannot do, what you can do and what you cannot do. You just cannot displease people. I was in this place for a very long time, really long time, and this can really affect your life. It can affect your decision making. It can make you to live in the shadows. It's almost like you're living other people's lives because you feel that your opinion does not matter, and you're so scared to step on people's toes. You're so scared to displease others. It's okay for you to displease yourself, but when you go back home, you're so uncomfortable and you're so angry at yourself, yet you cannot say no. It's a very difficult thing, and it's a very sad situation to find yourself in, because I know what I'm talking about. I've been here for a very long time. I discovered it was so hard for me to even say no to my boss. There are times my boss will be like, I want you to do this. There are times that you can really voice your opinion, but I found myself in this place where it was almost like I cannot say no to this, even when I'm not comfortable. Can we go and eat this? I know that I don't want to eat that, but because I don't want to displease my boss, I just cannot say no. My boyfriend will be like, I want you to come over. I don't want to do it, but I just cannot say no. My mom will be like, hey, I want you to come home and do this and that, and I don't want to do it, but I just cannot say no. My friends, my pastor, it does not matter the situation, it does not matter the relationship, but you will discover that it will be so difficult for you to voice your opinion, to say no to something when you don't want to say yes to, or to say yes to something when you were supposed to say no. What is a boundary? A boundary, according to Merriam-Webster, is something that indicates or fixes a limit or extent. Now, I want to break this myth that says that if you are the person that is available always, it means you are a good person, in quotes. In fact, if you are that kind of a person, trust me, there is a question mark with yourself, and you need to pay attention to that. It's either you're feeling low about yourself, you feel like if you're not available for everyone, they are not going to be available for you. You feel like if you don't do this for this person is not going to look at you with good eyes, or you feel like if you are not there for people, I don't know, but it has to do with your self-worth. Yes, because for me, I think I had a lot of low self-esteem, that I felt like I needed to be available for people to be validated. Trust me, if you find yourself in this situation, you need to sit back and ask yourself some questions, because setting boundaries for yourself is so important. If you're the kind of person who has not learned to set boundaries for yourself, to say that, what, this is the limit I can cross. Anything other than this, sorry, I love you, I cannot do it, then there is a question mark with your life. You know why? Because you'll be living your life to please everyone else but you, and which is so not okay. So you need to learn to set boundaries for yourself. Why is it important for you to set boundaries for yourself? The first thing is It's important for you to set boundaries for yourself because you need to take responsibility for your actions. When you do not set boundaries for yourself, you find yourself doing the blame game. You always blame people for not doing what you were supposed to do. Why didn't you come to school today? Oh, something happened. My sister told me to go and do this and do this and do that and do that. Why didn't you do this project? Oh, this friend of mine came to the house, so I was busy doing so and so. The second thing is you need to learn to set boundaries for yourself, because if you do not set boundaries for yourself, you'll be feeling resentment, you feel angry at yourself, you feel like people are always trying to take advantage of you. I found myself in this place. I was always feeling that way. I felt like everyone around me was coming to me for something. It affected me at my job site, it affected my spiritual life, it affected my friendships, it affected even my romantic relationship in quotes, and that was simply because I did not learn to set boundaries for myself. And because of that, each time that happens, I go back home feeling frustrated. I go back home feeling angry, because it's almost like, okay, I had to do this. My friend just comes, hey babes, I want us to do this, and before I know it, I'm following you like a sheep. And then when I go there and come back, I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling like, oh, I had so many things to do, I have not done it, and I still have to do it. So I'm angry at myself. And then sometimes you even go for those programs, or you go for that particular activity or event, and you do not even benefit anything from there. So I'll come back feeling frustrated. I felt so angry at myself sometimes. This last time I had to tell myself, what, enough is enough. So I had to learn to tell myself that, hey, please, you have to learn to say no when you don't feel like doing it. You have to learn to say yes sometimes, even when you do not feel like doing it, because it's important for yourself. The third thing I want to talk about, which is very important, because if you do not do this, if you do not set boundaries for yourself, it's going to affect you even in your relationship with your spouse or your to-be spouse. You know why? It's because every relationship has issues. Now, when you are coming into a relationship, you're coming with your baggage. This person is coming with their own baggage and all. So you need to learn to say no when you don't want to do something. I see many girls, they find themselves in a relationship where they do not have a say. Anything the man says is a yes, even when they are not comfortable doing it. Same with the guys. You find yourself in a relationship with this lady that you cannot say no. When you're broke, you cannot say no. When you've exceeded your limit of spending for that month, you cannot say no, because you've not set boundaries even for your finances. You've not set boundaries for your life. You've not set boundaries in this relationship. You guys have not sat to talk about it like, hey, you know what, this is as far as I can go in this relationship. If you're asking me for this, trust me, I cannot do it, because I cannot go above this limit. This is my standard. These are my core values. This is what I will do. This is what I will not do. And I think one of the reasons why people don't even set boundaries is because they do not have core value. If you do not set boundaries, you keep finding yourself in a position or a tight spot where you compromise. And when you compromise, you keep blaming your partner, like I said before, the blame game. And you find yourself in this particular issue that never comes to an end. It's almost like a circle. Every time you talk about it, let's say he hurt you this time around, you compromise because you crossed your limit, you did not set boundaries, and then he will tell you I'm sorry, or she tells you I'm sorry, and then you feel like, okay, you have forgotten and you have forgiven, and then something happens again because you did not set boundaries. That particular thing happens again, and then you get angry at this person, and before you know it, it's almost like that issue is never ending. It's because you guys have not spoken about it, you have not set boundaries, and it happens with your relationships, every other relationship. If you do not learn to set boundaries, you discover that you keep having this particular issue with this friend, in quotes, because you guys have not talked about it. The person does not know that, hey, this is the limit to which I can cross. I'm not supposed to do this. And because of that, the person will keep stepping on your toes, and you will start telling yourself, you know what, I do not value friendships, I do not do this, I do not do that. And because of that, it will lead to you building a wall. A wall is literally like a wall that you have put, and because of all these things that happen, I discovered that it was so difficult for me to have friends. It was so difficult. Each time friends want to come around me, I feel like, hey, I just built this wall, because I felt like, you know what, you're coming to me for something. You're coming to me for something, and I am not ready to do that. Instead of me to communicate my boundaries with you, I set walls. which is very difficult, because when you set a wall, it's difficult for people to access you. You'll be in your place, and then sometimes you really need something, but someone cannot reach out to you because you have set a wall. And it was difficult for me to have true friendships, because I'm still wrestling with it right now, but I believe that God is helping me out. I'm everywhere, but it's difficult for me to allow myself for people to come around me in my inner circles, because it was difficult for me to communicate my boundaries. So I've learned to communicate my boundaries. I'm not there yet totally, but I am learning gradually, day by day. And I discovered that the moment I started learning to communicate my boundaries, or to set boundaries for my life, I discovered that it was so easy for me. I found myself in a job for how many years. I was not comfortable, but I just did not know how to tell my boss, you know what, I don't want to do this again. I had to spend an extra year working when I didn't want to do it. But because I did not know how to say, this is what I can do and this is what I cannot do, I compromised a lot. Even in my Christian journey, there were times that I'll find myself in church when I'm not supposed to be there. Like, seriously, there are times that you need to rest. There were times that I just went to church because I did not want the people in church to feel like I am no more coming to church, or something is happening to my spiritual life. So I'll find myself doing it, not because I wanted, but because of what people will say. I found myself compromising, going to certain places, not because I wanted, but because I knew that this friend in quote will not be happy with me. So trust me, your happiness is most important. Let me be honest with you. Your happiness is most important, irrespective of what people would think. I'm not saying that you should not value people, but then you need to learn to set boundaries for yourself. In that way, you'll better be able to love on people. Thank you for staying true up until this moment. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave your comments, and share. Thank you.